Welcome to Stories Untold, the home of good news. I am Pule Mulebati, back again this week with yet another inspiring edition of the show. Thank you for choosing to spend the next few minutes with us. Now, 30 years into the democracy in South Africa, and of course, there are great stories of children who are benefiting from the democracy. But, of course, on the other side of that, you will find children that have fallen through the cracks. Now, today we are looking at a great initiative that's out in Ekurhuleni that's taking care of children that are left in child-headed homes, children that have previously lived on the street. Now, they give children a place to stay as well as therapy as they rehabilitate them back into society. We are taking the next few minutes getting to know Kids Haven in Ekurhuleni.
Out of a sad story came a great idea that saves lives. As a response to the increasing number of children on the streets of Benoni and the violent deaths of 2 street children, Moira Simpson, a qualified social worker, started a center called Kids Haven in October 1992. Years later, the center has evolved and reaches many people in and around the East Rand with their 3-pillar structure called pre-care, in-care, and aftercare.
Kids Haven have 3 pillars. We have the pre-care, we have the in-care, which is the residential care, and the aftercare. We also have kids that have no one. So some, they don't really have families. We can't exit them. According to the law, when they turn 18, they are adults. We can only keep them when they are still in school or learnership or university. So we keep our kids. Those that go to universities, they go, and then during school holidays, they come to Kids Haven. That's home for them until they finish their studies. We also have those that don't go to universities, mhlambe uqedile imatric or umunye akazange asafike nakumatric because of iminyaka yakhe ayisamvumeli. So we organize practical skills training, like vocational training for bona. And then we also assist them ukuthi bathole imisebenzi. So they all fall under our aftercare program. We assist them ukuthi bathole imisebenzi, and we also help them mhlambe so utholile umsebenzi. Maybe we say after 3 months now you need to move out. But we will assist you again. The aftercare team will help you. We get a lot of donations from people. Imibedo, we receive any kind of donation. So we also use that. Like a startup, so that's what we do for our children. And then the aftercare team will then monitor the placement. They'll even check his pani. Is he coming to work? Is he coming every day? Is this, And then check in assembly uguti uright uhlala kahle irent yapadalwa. Sometimes we pay the first 2-3 months because it's hard. And then that's how we monitor them.
The center's in-care pillar reaches children in need, especially those without parental care. It provides shelter, protection, education, training, and therapy.
I joined Kids Haven in 2015 because of issues at home with my father. And since I've joined Kids Haven, it helped me a lot in processing everything that happened in my life, and it changed a lot about myself. And I'm happy to stay here with the results that I've seen myself changing.
Kids Haven has changed my life a lot. I don't want to lie, a lot. Ever since I came here, I felt like I was a real person. Ever since I came here, I felt like this is the beginning of my new world. And I saw the opportunities. There are many opportunities here at Kids Haven. And I also learned respect.
Annie says the work they do results in positive inclusion for discarded, neglected, and abused children.
When kids come into care, they come because of different reasons. it's because something went wrong empilweni yalo mntwana. Akekho umntwana ozalwa adelela, or ozalwa antshontsha, or ozalwa abhema, or ozalwa abaleka ekhaya. So unfortunately, we tend to focus on the behavior, the behavior that they display, but we don't really take time to say, why is this child behaving the way he does? So child care workers do that. So child care workers step in and parent the child who was never parented, or who was exposed to bad parenting. Wagcina semgwaqweni, or wagcina baleke ekhaya, or wagcina sekantshontsha i-community seyamshaya, or wabhema idakamizwa. And those children end up here. So these are the kids that were hurt by adults. You understand, if a child has been sexually abused, it's been abused by umuntu amaziyo umalume or ubani, but that person most of the time is the adult. So now, we are removed a social worker, uzolethwa a kids haven. This child is going to meet adults again. So it's very difficult, manje, who do I trust? Can I really trust this social worker? Can I trust this adult? Uhluke kanjani kunalaba engibuya kubo bekade bangihlukumeza?
The center accommodates older boys aged 12 and above, and their living dormitories are next door to the administration building and the free community preschool. They also have 6 houses in the nearby suburb of Mackenzie Park North that shelters their younger children and older girls.
I was the voice of the other children and helping them to know the place, and they were not that easy to open up on what they want, what they don't want. And yeah, we spoke to them as a forum. Yeah, it was nice being there because I've changed a lot, me and my team that I was working with, and children are happy and we are also happy.
For me to become the part of the children's committee, they interviewed us for different positions, and in the interview, I think they liked me. They saw me as a leader who was able to stand for children's rights. So I was chosen as an organizer, and it was actually fun to be an organizer because I would organize events. The last event that I organized was it was social Halloween party, and everyone was happy there. Everyone was happy. Even now I was happy. I felt like I played a role for children.
Kids Haven has a staff membership of over 90 people and 158 children currently within the in-care pillar. The in-care pillar includes a transport system that picks up and drops off children to school and back to their villages. We spoke to some of the staff members that work with the children and found out their role in the chain.
Is I'm in 10. Then mangfika lana nakhona it was something different because from elokishini you grow up thinking ukuthi lana oyakhona it's a very horrible place because abantu like okokuqala nje when you talk about safe houses babona ijele elinye or angazi like they giving you a picture yabantwana ozima ungene bazogwaza bazofika bakujampele like bona they see amahoho. They don't see like hey laba vele like abantwana like they deserve a second chance to be loved. And then when I came here, wow, it was amazing, like the place itself nje maungeni okay like their rooms, wow, ukudla bakudlayo. How can badla kamnandi kanje, like uba so surprised like with the lifestyle that they are living, like uyabona ukuthi oh no elokishini they are drawing a wrong picture because like people they are not like fully aware or maybe like exactly what is it that is happening. But then when you get here it's so lovely. And then I met Auntie Tera, I met Abu Mam Eni. Mam Eni, she used to teach us asitshela ukuthi mamelani labantwana laba abafani nabantwana bakho endlini, so you will never expect ukuthi a behave normal. So to them what is normal? You're like, what is normal? Like, because like, amelanga babehave kaso, amelanga bakhulume kaso. When you cannot say uthi akumelanga bakhulume kaso. We were taught kahle ukuthi let us first of all give ourselves a chance to understand them. Let us also give ourselves a chance like to love them, to adore them, to see kahle ukuthi who are they.
Sibongile says sometimes they must put the teacher head to the side and become the parent.
I'm more of a mama, like not just being a professional child and youth care worker, because sometimes like to be a professional child and youth care worker, it's not working. You just have to be a mother, and not just being just a mother, but a mother who will understand the pain that they are facing, a mother who will be in their shoes. Okay, fine. Oh, una 3. When njoba under 3, so this is how a child must behave. This is very mele akumela, pamela kibela, pamela champela paya, and then there'll be a youth also zagu tells mama and hetwe boyfriend yam or in a crash boy, and then you have to change level yakho ukuthi manje sengikhuluma with this one, and then like this is how I need to advise mama as esikolweni mama ngihlushwa is this thing, I don't understand the mess, I don't understand this. Okay, fine. Like our work is so different and it's so unique. It gives us, like, it makes our mind to be broad.
Working with the aftercare pillar team is Ilka Stein. She works with the youth living independently in their communities, in-care youth, and those who turn 18 and no longer qualify to live within the center.
You heard about Kidshaven and how we look after the kids. And so once they leave, my team and I, we keep on following up. So we're not stopping and saying, okay, now you're on your own. So we keep on checking and following up. And then you've heard about the pre-care program trying on the prevention side to engage with communities. And one of the things that we then combine is obviously to say a lot of the young people in our communities where we often work have exactly the same question. How do I get into employment? I finished matric. Where do I get my first work experience? How can I get into internships or exposure? Sometimes it's even on what do I want to do, so on career orientation. And so, yeah, we extended the services not only to our kids here, but to actually say if we can help more young people into a foundation or more like a solid footing, then it eventually closes the loop into our prevention side. Because if they're doing fine, and if they're solid, and if they have a job, and if they're okay and stable, then we do have a chance of saying these communities and these families are stable. And so the kids are, their kids eventually are taken care of. So I think in a way it's for us closing the circle and maybe breaking the cycle, if that makes sense.
The Aftercare Youth Center building has classroom facilities for children who are not yet ready to be placed in public schools, computer center, as well as a library. Stein says her passion for the youth drives her to keep finding ways to help them improve.
My kind of passion was always towards young people. And I think for me, one of the big questions is how do we help them transition? Because you know, as a place of shelter, we're looking after them as long as we can, and eventually they need to transition. And that's obviously a different reality from what they then know. And so my question was, which doors can I open? How do we prepare them for? How can we ensure that the landing into the different reality and the world is as easy as possible for them? So that was already when I volunteered, I started to do that, and now we have a youth hub since a year ago.
Kidshaven receives a grant from the Department of Social Development, but the money only takes care of the in-care pillar needs. The center relies on donor funding to meet the cost of caring for all the needs. The center also has 2 charity shops located at 38 Cranbourne Avenue and Tate House 140 Warborn Avenue in Benoni. Donations get dropped off at the shops and offices located right next to each other. The shop relies solely on donated second-hand goods. All the goods received are first sorted to select what can be used for the children. Then the remainder of the goods are sorted for sale at the charity shops.
1/3 of our funding comes from the government, and the rest is from community members, private companies. The residential care iodwa, 70% of our funding, of our expenses are covered by DSD. So when we don't get that funding, it means to operate with 30%, and we have 158 children. And that number grows, ne? And sometimes it fluctuates. This country, there are more than that. Like last month, there were 164, 62. So currently, it's an issue with other NGOs closing down, because labo bantwana labo, we take them like Kids Haven. When these organizations close, they apply like Kids Haven, and we take them. And then nathi sihleli like Teni, we're not sure what's going to happen, because kuze kube manje besingakayitholi funding yethu from DSD, and we're hearing ukuthi abanye bayavala, and we're saying, what are we going to do with our kids?
We met two beneficiaries who speak highly of Kids Haven and the positive impact it's had in their lives. Due to a lack of family support, Tsietsi Morobi was sent to stay at a shelter at a young age, and when that shelter was closed, he was moved to Kids Haven.
I came here, I think I was 9 or 10, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's just a bit far back. So I came here and I was still in primary school. So the reasons for me coming here is because another shelter where I used to live closed down, and then they were looking for a place to place us. So I came here with my little brother and sister. So then I came to Kids Haven. It was at first different environment. I'm used to like a small environment. But amazingly, there were a lot of us in like one space, but it didn't feel like it. I think it felt really warm. I felt welcome, and the moms, they treated us like their own kids. So it really, like, the changeover was a shock at first, but after not even a long time, I was like, okay, yeah,
Confused after completing his matric, Tsietsi took a break for a year and asked for support to travel overseas and explore what the world has to offer. He came back with a clear mind and vision to study drama and give back by working with the children.
Actually, I think when you are doing something that you love, when you are doing something that you enjoy, something that it doesn't feel like a job, you grow better. For me, you experiment, you find things that work, and you grow so much in that environment. And I'll bring it back to drama and why I came back and I did drama instead of sports. And yeah, I just saw the world. I don't know, it's like I just took off my pair of eyes of how I used to look at the world, and I was like, ta-da, that ta-da moment.
Mpomadi says she is so grateful for Kids Haven and what the center did for her life.
Kulele Kids Haven, ngifike Kids Haven 2000, ngambe 2009. You know, when you're a child, you always want to do something beyond what you see around you. So my dream was to go overseas. And I thought to myself, what can I do to go overseas, you know? So my sports activities that we do after school, I first did like badminton, and then I did soccer and netball, and then I did, they introduced wrestling to the center, and I did that. And I saw a big opportunity as a female wrestler. I can go. Can go where I want to go, yeah.
Madi is also giving back. She's created a wrestling club in Zakani for young children and trains the coaches.
I've been to like 16 African countries, and I've been to Europe, I've been to America, I've been to Asia. So when I retired from the wrestling, I thought, how can I give back, not just sit with the knowledge that I have, because I've represented my country many times, and I would also like to see other black women, girls, young guys represent their country, also doing wrestling. So I opened a club in Tsakane, because I'm from Tsakane. So I opened the club there, and we call it Battleground Wrestling Club. And I've got about 42 wrestlers. I've got about 8 coaches and 2 team managers.
Annie says Kids Haven will remain dedicated to the care and protection of vulnerable children among many services they give to the community.
The center is growing. Looking at where we started when we were just working with children who were living and working on the streets, to the kind of children we take in now. The needs of the children have become bigger and more. So currently, I think the biggest challenge is mental health in children. We don't have facilities that caters for children who are suffering from mental health. We think, we're not sure if we have we don't have the expertise, of course, to work with children with mental health. But we see ukuthi mental health iyabalimaza kangakanani abantwana. So maybe in future would like to have a center where we look after children with mental illnesses. Ngoba there are also children and they need somebody to reach out to them, and they need somebody to help them. So you find that kids with conduct disorder, nobody wants them. And sizoba sapi, right? And we also would like to have we're not a secure center. Ne? Mara kuba nesikhathi where you can see ukuthi this child cannot, they're aggressive. So if we have some kind of an intervention center where we say, these ones are not stable, right? They just came in, they run away, and the behavior is still not okay. And we help them, and we have programs and therapeutic intervention there. Ukuze mase seba right, then we move them. Manje siyahlanganisa. Omunye una 3 years ala, omunye una 2 years ala, omunye una 2 days ala, omunye una, So that's what we're hoping for mhlambe in the future. And to also grow our community work, because logo kuyasiza to help abantwana before basuswa emakhaya, so we can preserve families, and we can at least do some kind of early intervention, because every child deserves to grow up in a loving, caring family.
And on that very feel-good note, we'd like to end things here for this week. Let's do this same time, same place. But remember to spread the word that there is hope out there. There are kind-hearted individuals out there. And of course, there are incredible institutions and NGOs such as Kids Haven that are doing amazing work. We like to see it here on Stories Untold. Until next week, goodbye.